Can you start from where you said what you've been noticing the last week or two?
Like I've been noticing like a sense of self-discovery where I am just very hyper sensitive to what I'm thinking and some of the thoughts that are coming through my head that I don't like and trying to fix those. And I'm just going a little bit like, I feel like I'm going through a bit of a shift
Yeah.
in my thinking. And
You're becoming more aware.
I'm becoming more aware. Yeah. And it's a bit, it's sometimes it's challenging, but
Sure.
I mean,
And I always tell my clients and students, you can't change something if you aren't even aware of it. So in that pre-talk, you notice part of the listening and then feeding back is getting people, because when they're telling their story, they're in trance, which means they're slightly unaware. It's automated. They've already made up the story and repeated it usually many times by the time they come to us. So our job is to start interrupting them from time to time and feeding back and say, do you realize you just said that? Now they've snapped into now, the moment, or they're in awareness now, and they can say, wow, yeah, I do say that a lot, or something like that will come out of their mouth usually. Like they're aware of it on some level, but by becoming aware of it in that other realm, because now you've accessed the unconscious while they're telling their story, and now you hit pause, so it allows for the unconscious to have a new awareness. That's what these are that you're having, because you've been going in and out of hypnosis the last few weeks too. When we talk about fractionation, there's the kind that we do in the hypnotic process where we put someone in, bring them out a little bit, put them in again, bring them out a little bit, put them in again, and it's a deepener. But there's also longer term fractionation. Like when I noticed it years ago when I would go to a conference that was like 4, 5, 6, usually I go for the pre and post, so I'd be there 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 days, I take everything. And I started noticing by the 3rd day, the 4th day, or even before, because you're going in and out of hypnosis in hypnosis conferences, right? If you're doing it the right way, if you're paying attention. And I started noticing it was like so therapeutic by the end of the conference. For the next 6 months, it was like all of a sudden I had this heightened awareness. So it was actually longer term fractionation. Now, in another way, what you're doing, I realized a few years ago in training, even though there's maybe a week or two in between classes, you're still going into the state during training and learning, because it's the learning state anyway, so it's the best way to learn is in hypnosis. And then you come out, and then even if it's a week or two, it's still processing. That's that ripple effect. And then when you come back, you're going in again. Now your mind has already made some new discoveries in between and processed some of the concepts that maybe on a conscious level you weren't even really taking particular attention, paying particular attention to, or maybe it was even a concept that kind of bypassed your critical faculty because you're in hypnosis. That's why I have you hypnotize me, and then I hypnotize you, and when we have another person, you're in that the observer position. Because in each of those positions, you're going at least into a light alpha state, and you're noticing that, right?